Welcome to another introduction to angling day here at Wyreside Fisheries near Lancaster. This event has been supported by Shakespeare Fishing Tackle, Ted Carter's Fishing Tackle in Preston, and has been organised by the help of Sally from the fishery. We've got something like 20 juniors fishing. The weather's not great, but the venue's really prolific. Let's get down and have a look, see how they're getting on. So, we've got two sisters. We've got Ellie and Alicia. And whereabouts are you from? Pilling. So that's near Lancaster?
Sort of.
It's near Garstang.
Yeah.
And this is Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
So Lewis, you're from Ted Carter.
Yeah, I'm from Ted Carter's.
And we've got an introduction to angling event today here at Wyreside Fishery. And despite the weather, we're having a good time.
Yeah, we're having a good time catching a few fish, aren't we?
So what's the idea behind this event, Lewis?
It's just trying to get kids involved in fishing. Just a taste today at first for next year, I think. See if they enjoy it, and if they do enjoy it, they can come back next year and try it again.
Nice one. And what have you been catching then, girls? What have you had?
9 roach and 1 perch.
And it was quite a big perch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that the biggest fish you've ever caught?
Yeah.
Nice one. And you've started catching a few fish now as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
How many have you got?
I think I've had 4 or 5.
I think it's 5 roach
five
and
roach
a
and
big
1
perch
perch.
now, ain't you?
Yeah.
Nice one. Right, I'll get out the way because I don't want to interrupt the fishing anymore. So what's your name?
Cameron.
Cameron. And how old are you, Cameron?
9.
You just caught a nice roach.
Yeah.
Have you caught many fish today?
Yeah.
How many have you caught?
9.
You've had 9 roach?
And a couple have escaped.
Yeah? And was that, would you say that the biggest one or?
Yeah.
So is this the first time you've been fishing?
No.
You've been fishing a few times?
Yeah.
And you enjoy it, yeah?
Yeah.
Even on a day like this with the
Yeah.
rain? You're not bothered?
No.
So this is Dave, and Dave's helping you out.
Yeah.
And Dave, you're from Ted Carter's, aren't you, in Preston?
Ted Carter's, yes.
And you've pretty much instigated this event, really, I think. With
Well, I've helped with them, yeah, to get it organised.
With the fishery, yeah?
Yes.
And
It was an idea that came up, and we thought, certainly from Ted Carter's point of view, we always seem to ask the question is where's the next generation of anglers coming from?
Yeah.
And even though it's a day like today, you know, it's good to get them out and catching fish.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic that you've all turned up when it's been such a miserable day.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, and it's something that we strongly believe in as well at Shakespeare, that we've got to get more kids into fishing and get kids out of away from their
beds.
PlayStation,
Yeah.
and out in the environment. It's good to see having so much fun.
Having fun, aren't you?
Yeah.
Need to get you another one now, don't we?
Right, come on then.
So you grab on
Let's
to this,
concentrate and see if we can get you one on film.
Let's get rid of that.
Dave, do you get many juniors coming into the shop?
We do, yeah. But it depends on, a lot of them want to catch the biggest fish, so
Yeah.
it's a case of they want to come in and catch carp, and then if they go carp fishing and they don't catch, that puts them off.
Yeah.
So it's good to get them into the basics of, you know, just catching small fish and fish handling and fish welfare and the care
Yeah.
for them.
Absolutely.
And then to try and get them enthusiastic, and if we can get them enthusiastic on a day like today,
Yeah.
that's what we want.
And
Obviously, if we get them into the fishing now, you know, for years to come, once they've got that bug
yeah.
for fishing, then you know they can go on to either match fishing, pleasure fishing, or just angling in general.
It just gets them in, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
certainly just the enthusiasm that you can see on their faces, just from catching a few small roach, just on a simple pole like this, you know, they're going to remember that and
Of
hopefully
course they are.
branch into different aspects of the sport.
But your sister's going to count fishing. How many has she caught now?
About
She's caught about 20.
24
like-
carp?
No.
Like that. I don't know how much he's caught.
And how old's your sister?
She's 7.
All right, what's her name?
Lara.
Well, we better go and speak to Lara in a second and see how she's getting on. On a day like this, Dave, when we're just trying to get kids into fishing, what sort of tackle do you recommend? I mean,
Well,
basic pole fishing like this?
Just a basic pole fishing, some maggots and ground bait. Obviously, have some protection with an umbrella
Yeah,
and a
I know.
chair, and maybe a warm drink on a day like today.
Absolutely. And how long are they actually fishing for?
They're fishing for 2 hours, so it's just a bit of a taster session today, just for 2 hours to get them into you know, hopefully catch some fish, get the enthusiasm going for future, even, as I say, when it's like this.
And you've got 2 more groups coming during the day?
A group of 8 to now, then we've got a group of 7 and a 6 this afternoon. So hopefully we'll have plenty of fish today.
Here comes another net, another fish for the net. Go and place him in the net. Juniors like this, do they need to have a rod license, or what if somebody wanted to take their kid fishing, what have they got to do first of all?
They certainly need a rod license to do it from the environmental agency. And then it's whatever the fishery would charge per session to fish. I don't think it's a lot on a fishery like this small pool, but the Wyreside Lake complex consists of, I think it's 7 different lakes, which caters for all different anglers, from from someone who's inexperienced and who can catch some fish today, to the specimen lakes, which is Banton's, and the Wyre Lake, which are syndicate waters, which hold some very large carp.
But as an introduction to angling like this, a fishery with plenty of small lakes with small fish is a perfect start, isn't it?
Perfect start. As you say, it's just all about getting enthusiasm into it and getting them used to handling fish, to catching fish, and especially the fish welfare as well.
And I think it's also worth mentioning how important the local tackle shop is as well, just to give you a plug, because I mean that's the place. If somebody, nobody fishes in the family, they can go to the tackle shop and get great advice, kit themselves out with some basic equipment and come and fish a venue such as this.
Certainly, and this is one of the things that we are looking at now is we cater for, or we have catered for a lot of the high end of the market, but we're obviously interested now in getting into what's the youth of today, and what we need there is some good quality budget tattle that we can use. And obviously all the youngsters coming in, we can say that this is what we've used at these events. And obviously our good friend Shakespeare have helped to sponsor this event, and long may that continue. Well,
absolutely. I think it's a great initiative, and let's try and organise a few more.
We've got about another 6 next year.
Okay, cool. Nice one, Dave.
Cheers, thanks.
Okay then, so what's your name?
Tom.
Tom. And how old are you?
11.
And have you been fishing before?
Yeah, I always come fishing. I go fishing with Callum.
Oh yeah? Is Callum your mate, is he?
Yeah. Well, I've got a caravan up here, and so's he, so every weekend we see each other.
It's good fishing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And have you caught anything today?
Yeah, I've had a few little roach. Not that big, but I've had a couple.
And what bait are you catching on?
Maggot.
Nice one. And so you're from the area then, are you?
I'm from Banton. It's about 45 minutes away. Half an hour to 45 minutes.
But you're having a good time?
Yeah.
And what's your name?
Edward.
All right, Edward. How old are you?
8.
And have you fished before?
Yeah.
And what are you catching today?
I don't know.
What, those silver fish, yeah? So they're roach. The ones with red fins are roach, silver and red. And then some people have been catching some perch. What's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
Carp. It was £15.
£15? That's massive.
That's the biggest I've got. It was with Callum.
Yeah.
Fishing on sunny one.
Wow. So you like fishing then?
Yeah.
Better than sitting in the house?
Yeah.
Even on a day like this?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, keep going, and hopefully you'll catch a bigger fish.
I love maggots.
Hi Lara, you're looking very comfortable here under this snug umbrella. And I reckon you're probably our youngest girl here today. How old are you?
7.
7. Is this the first time you've been fishing?
I've been here once before.
Yeah. And you had a good time?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying yourself today? And how many fish have you caught?
26.
26 fish? You're joking? Seriously? That's amazing. Well done, that's fantastic. And are they all the same? Are they all roach?
I've had some little ones and some big ones.
Yeah. And you're fishing with a pole and you're catching on maggots, yeah?
Yeah.
And you don't mind maggots? No. Because some girls I know, they can't stand maggots, but they don't bother you?
No.
That's fantastic. Well, I think you're catching the most fish out of everybody here today, and you're the youngest and the smallest person. That's amazing. So Lee, you've been helping out Lara today. Obviously, with the younger kids, what do you think's the best sort of approach in terms of an introduction to angling like this?
On a water that's full of small fish that you're going to catch plenty of, and fish with maggots in a short session, which obviously keeps them interested and doesn't tie them down for too long.
And I mean, the weather's horrendous, but they seem to be having a good time.
Obviously, it's all about if you're catching fish, you know.
Yeah.
If you're interested in catching fish, you know, despite what the weather is, you know, you still keep interested, don't you?
Yeah, and do you enjoy helping as well? Do you get some satisfaction?
Of course, you know, if it's teaching somebody how to fish, you're passing on your knowledge, and then obviously it goes from there, doesn't it?
Nice one. Well, we better let you carry on, Lara, because we don't want anyone catching you up. I think you're definitely the champion at the moment. So I'm with Amber and Sharon. And Amber, you've been catching a few fish, yeah?
Yeah.
How many have you caught?
15.
15 fish. Are you having a good time?
Yeah.
Even though it's raining?
Yeah.
So Sharon, do you get many girls down at the fishery? Do you get much interest from some girls and from women?
Only a few, like Amber and a sister. But really, there should be a lot more women coming down fishing. I can't understand why they won't.
Yeah.
Or they don't. But yeah, I think it is a woman's sport as well.
Yeah. And you help out quite a bit down here, don't you?
Well, with kids, like, you know, I'll bring them down and for my sins. But yeah, a big kid myself, I think that's what it is.
Well, it's great to see some girls here today. I mean, I think there's 5 different girls in this session, and I think they're actually beating the boys. So that just shows you that a bit of girl power going on.
It is.
Thanks ever so much. I'll let you get back fishing, all right? So Sally, we're back under cover, sheltering from the rain.
Yep.
The first session's been a great success. We had 6 kids, all catching fish, and as I say, it's been a brilliant success. But what was your thinking behind this event? I mean, when did you start to plan it, and how did you go about promoting it?
Well, we have an active marketing team here. Even though we're a small team, there's only, in the main season, probably about 12 of us. But in the marketing team, it's just myself and Sarah. And we meet up sort of once a month and say, like, what promotions, what are we going to do, how are we going to promote sort of the business as a whole. And we just realised that a lot of the members here, the caravan members per se, had a lot of children that were sort of, you know, going down with them, getting into fishing. And we were just thinking along the lines of, you know, maybe promoting that and bringing something back on the youth side of fishing, which we used to do many years ago. But I think with the age of the dawning of computer age, internet, Xboxes, PSs and all that, children seem to go in a different direction for a while. And we sort of lost that momentum, but now we're trying to sort of bring it back in, get them outdoors, but sort of teach them the whole thing, not just a case of putting a rod in and bringing a fish out, but what the fish is, what its environments are, what it eats, how to look after it if it's damaged, or you know, just the general care of it. Try and bring a little bit more of the outdoors and nature back into their lives.
But it's great to get so many kids here on a day like this, and it just shows the enthusiasm that they can have, doesn't it?
Yeah, they better get used to it though, because this is typical weather, especially up here in the north. You know, it rains more than not. You know, but this kind of weather does bring on good fishing. So you know, yesterday and the day before, it was brilliant sunshine, but freezing temperatures. So you know, it's swings and roundabouts, but they're having a good time, and it's a great manageable amount of people, of children, to be able to do almost a one-to-one with them, just keeping it in small groups, round about 6-7 children, 2 tutors, and it just gives them that sort of, you know, encouragement.
No, they've all learnt a lot, haven't they? And I think having the staff from Ted Carter as well to help has been a fantastic bonus.
Well, it's been a wonderful
kind of how it evolved, didn't it? From your idea here at the fishery, Dave from Ted Carter got involved, and then obviously Shakespeare got involved as well to sort of help promote the event. And I think it's something that, you know, we could develop further in the future, and something that's definitely what we need to be doing. We need to be promoting fishing and getting more kids fishing.
Yes, because there does seem to be a generation gap. There are many sort of times with fishermen where they sort of decide, I'm going to be a fisherman, and it's usually through a lead from friends, clubs, but adult clubs, rather than sort of starting at a younger age. And if a child does have an intent to do a sport of some kind, normally it comes via, you know, social network, friends, etc. fishing has always been a very sort of social sport once you're in it, but it's very much how do you get into it, who do you go to, how do you find out about it. And the best way to do that is through people like Dave and Ted Carter's and his team, is to be able to feel sort of free enough and confident enough to be able to go in there and say, I'm just setting up, what do I do? And then they take it from there.
I think another key thing in the modern era is fisheries like this are absolutely perfect for beginners. I mean, when I started fishing, I joined a fishing club and we'd go and fish on canals and rivers. It was fantastic, but the facilities you've got here, you know, with the good car parking, you've got the cafe, you've got showers and toilets.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really great advantage that you've got here, and
it's a bonus. It sits hand in hand. There aren't many fisheries, commercial fisheries around the UK that sort of combine this. But again, I'd like to take credit and say that it was all planned, but it wasn't really. That in itself was an idea where a gentleman came one day and wanted to bring his wife because he was coming fishing and said, can I bring the caravan? And it just sort of stemmed from that. But I mean, Friday was our 20th year anniversary here, so this all sort of was generated, the top side of the business, probably around about the late 90s. And that's evolved as well. So yeah, it's great for an angler to, if they're staying overnight, to come and have a shower, have a hot meal, and it just makes the experience a little bit more comfortable.
Well, I think it's been a great day so far. Let's hope that the next group have a good time as well.
Sure.
And also let's look forward to organising a few more events in the future.
Well, I think these taster sessions are a great way to sort of gauge how people, what the public's interest is going to be. Our aim is to start the club sort of next year after the winter, probably springtime, and then just go on from then, culminating in sort of a junior match after a sort of 4, 5, 6 month period, and then sort of bring it on from there and hopefully promote the anglers of the future.
Brilliant. Well, thanks again, Sally, and thanks for involving us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Cheers. I love fishing!